Here's the fun thing for me. Now I work a lot of sets. I'll get on a set. Sometimes it's principal, sometimes is an extra. I'm tending more towards principal these days.
Hmm.
But every set I'm on, there is at least one person that wants to do a selfie with me. Um, when I was on Jumanji,
Hmm.
I'm sitting in on-set holding with Jack Black, Karen Gilliam, the Dwayne Johnson, and Kevin were back in there with their entourage. We're sitting in there, and the story's got some high school kids in it. And some little high school kid come in playing high school kid, looked at me and says, "Too many cooks." Jack Black jumped up and said, "You son of a bitch." He says, "I knew you from somewhere." He come over, took a selfie with me, put it on his pages. It's got about 15,000 likes. So yeah. Um, I was working on a TV show in Savannah called Florida Girls, and I had an off day. So the woman was casting a great little series called The Act. And so I went to go play on The Act in a con scene, just as a pedestrian. I knew the woman who was casting it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they pulled me out of line and said, "Excuse me, sir, I would like you to stand over here and be security. And oh, by the way, can I have a selfie with you?" It was Adam Arkin, the director. But yeah,
Oh,
it's
that is
like
funny.
sometimes it's a PA, Suicide Squad, David Mashnell, nuts. Too many cooks. I mean, he wanted to know all about it. So yeah, it's strange. It's a phenomenon.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the thing I think that works so well about Too Many Cooks is the way it subverts those feelings of nostalgia. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I come from a psychology background, so just to kind of clarify what I'm saying here, folks who may be listening, psychologically, nostalgia works as respiratory for happy feelings, which are tied to your identity, self-esteem, as well as like social connectivity. We tend to associate these feelings symbolically a lot of the times with the media that we have growing up, which is why if you watch something from your childhood, it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy, right? Um,
Yes.
but this is what I think makes Too Many Cooks so potent. And retrospectively, what are your thoughts on the idea of how it subverts nostalgia to kind of create a surrealistic horror?
I have to agree with you, but I'm going to also add that song is an earworm
Oh
that just
yeah.
once it doesn't go away. I'm going to have it all night in my head after talking to you. Yeah. And the song wasn't there when we filmed it. So yeah, it was like, and I've met the writers then and the performers for it, but yeah, and it's just a combination of it struck lightning.
Yeah. So let me ask you, like, when you guys were filming, like, did you get to have any input on your character? Maybe how you wanted to portray the killer, like costume choices, stuff like that.
Everybody was an extra. No one was really hired as a principal actor, including myself. I
Okay.
made like 200 a day, which was good money as an extra.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so we tend to tell me what you want, and I'll do it. Take direction. There's very little personal input. And like I tell people, I've been married 50 years. I've learned how to take direction. So I think that helps with me. Now, if you're a real Too Many Cooks fan, if you notice when I kill the tennis player, my beard is gray.
Hmm.
That was 6 months after I filmed the first 3 days. We did pickup shot where I killed the tennis player and I drugged the black girl from behind the door window.
Hmm.
Those were pickup shots, fill time. So they never paid me for that. Again, it wasn't released. Nobody knew it was going to be successful. So I'm on the second season, or yeah, second season of Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. And the producer Alex Orr comes over and says, "Hey, we never paid you for that extra day, that pickup day." I said, "No, you didn't, Alex." He says, "Oh yeah, and by the way, I have a release here I would like you to sign." I says, "Alex, I'll be happy to sign that release, no problem at all, because they were good to me.
Yeah.
And he says, what do we pay you for that? 350 a day? I says, no, Alex, you paid me 200 a day, but I'll take 350 for that pickup day. And he wrote me out a check for 350 as fast as he could. But yeah, it's, I mean, I have an action figure from that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Didn't they do like one of those little Funko Pops of you yet for that one?
Yeah, it's a little. They had 18 different characters on a blind box, and they're all either puppets or cartoon characters. Except, so I'm the real one, and I'm the one that's in demand, where there's only like one in every 64,
Right.
versus the other ones have higher numbers. So I mean, I don't. Kid Robot sold them. I don't believe they're selling them new right now, but they are a hot item on eBay right now.
Now, the one thing I will definitely kind of bring up is that I always thought it was interesting, just kind of coming from like that symbolic perspective on Too Many Cooks. So the costuming in the short, I find interesting because it has you wearing a classic Cosby sweater almost. I
Yes.
Because the sweater, I mean, it's kind of symbolic with that like kind of nurturing, fathering figure of Cosby as he tried to portray himself. But yours is
Yep.
kind of run down, faded. I think it's interesting that as the killer, you're wearing that because it's almost as if like you're subverting just the idea of like the father himself. Because at the very end, you end up replacing the father in that role, like sitting on the couch.
Correct.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, was that something that was deliberate, or was that just kind of developed as it did?
I will tell you this much: Casper put a lot into that sweater as far as finding what he decided he wanted.
Hmm.
And the sad part is there is a cardboard box floating out in the netherworld with the original sweater and the original machete. Nobody can find it.